Hey there, welcome back. So a lot of you guys ask me to go a little more in depth on how I use the aux send with effects on the Model 1. So I wanted to do a video to show you how these two effects work. Basically right now we are having a full track from my octa track going into this first channel. I have the two aux send. The first one is my reverb, that is the Eventide Space. And you can hear, I like to have it on a separate channel because it gives me here a lot of way to play with the sound, and since my music is really heavy dependent on the reverb, I think it's important to have the chance to cut the frequency and emphasize the frequency I want. I mostly use this preset that I deeply love, and I mostly have this on all the time. I cut the low frequency so it doesn't get muddy, but most of the track I produce or play, I love to have the reverb on. On the aux number 2, there's the Benidub. So the digital echo is basically made for dub users. It doesn't have a tap tempo and it only works on send and return. So you can put it like an instrument straight into it, or at least it's not advisable. So it has, with this you select the BPM, and with this the subdivision of the beat. You can use a big quantize to help you get the right BPM, so otherwise it would be a little hard to catch the right tempo. It has a filter, and I usually cut always the low frequencies. Feedback and volume. Feedback sometimes it's at 0, depends on the technique I'm using, but usually I keep it like this. And this is a modulator that I use sometimes when I do ambient track, because it gives a sort of a weird kind of effects. I'll let you listen soon. So let's hear it. Even in this case, I have its own channel, so I usually cut the low end and I push the higher. See, if you add this depth, some depth to the modulator, you have this warbly effect that could be very nice. I usually use it a lot with the ambient track. But for now, let's put it up. So how you can use it in a dub fashion? So basically the technique, it's simply to feed the signal back into it. So if I use the aux2, basically the signal come in and then I'll send it back, and so it keeps adding, and it will create basically a feedback loop. To the point that you can just remove the source, and this will keep looping and looping. Now, since I have the filter on, you hear how the signal is getting thin, and it's something that it's very nice and advisable. Otherwise your track might become very bass heavy and problematic. To make this work, basically is a balance between the gain staging at for the level, for the channel, and the how much signal you send back to the effect. So and it's necessary to play a little with the fader, because the the gain can go high very fast. So one way usually is just to turn on the aux for just a little, have the signal going in, and once it starts feeding back, you can just remove from here. So I like to use it to create these ambiances in conjunction with the reverb. It sounds very nice for transition, for example. Let's say you start cutting with a filter. And that I use it a lot, and it works very nice when you can separate the drums with the melodic parts. So sometimes I have one channel for all the percussion and drums, and one channel for my melodics, and that it's easier to get interesting effects. But yeah, in a general rule, so it's a very nice tool to have. Of course, you need basically a full channel of your mixer, or at least you need a channel that has a aux sense. But yeah, playing in this way with all the different effects, you can feed back things into itself and create weird noises. You hear in this case I'm feeding the reverb back in itself. You need to be very careful because of course you can create terrible feedback loops. But in this case I can create this wash that is and so basically with very simple setup, in this case I just have a kick and a trio tree going on, I can add a lot of depth to my track. And well, that's about it. I hope this was interesting, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.